Alright, so this video will have post commentary for the entire thing because the audio settings I had, I messed them up, so I have to record everything. Hopefully next episode I won't have to do this because the settings are fixed now. So yeah, at the start of this video I basically review my team, or not review my team, but mention the team members I'm going to be bringing here very shortly. So yeah, this quest is going to be pretty difficult because there's quite a few battles that we're going to have to deal with, some even consecutive. So here is the team I plan to go ahead with. Main standouts are Crabominable and Gardevoir here. But I'll go through every single team member, starting with Metagross, holding an Assault Vest, Jolly Nature plus Speed. And then main change is Rock Slide instead of Earthquake. Rock Slide is a very good move for this upcoming battle. Is your Crabominable, good for Trick Room. Ice Fighting type, great coverage for this at least. Holding a Rockium Z, Brave Nature plus Attack minus Speed Nature. Otherwise standard Trick Room EVs. And then Iron Fist boost punching moves, which Crabominable can use to great effect. In my case that is 2 moves, which is Ice Hammer and Crab Hammer. Otherwise Close Combat is for Stab, and then Rock Slide, just good for this quest in general. Next up we have Stakataka. I decided to give it a choice band, Lonely Nature, same as always, Lonely Nature plus minus IVs in defense, so that attack boost will come instead of defense boost. And then finally, for moves, I went with Rock Slide instead of Earthquake once again, because Rock Slide is really good for these upcoming battles. I'm sure you can figure out, it's doubles we're talking about, but Stone Edge will still have its use. And then Gyro Ball, Stab, and then Wide Guard is just there, which is fine. I mean, I have Choice Band too, so I can't even use Wide Guard. Curbing, same as always. Blaziken, main change here is Rock Slide instead of Earthquake, and then finally Gardevoir. Putting a Gardevoir right with a Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam is really good for these upcoming battles. Modest Nature, Telepathy isn't his greatest ability. I think it'd be better used having Trace here, just in general, because Telepathy, we don't have moves, spread moves to hit us, so yeah. And then its moveset is actually pretty good here. Good coverage all around, Dazzling Gleam to hit one Pokemon really hard, or Moonblast to hit one Pokemon really hard. Otherwise, the Gardevoir right with a Modest Nature is interesting. That is just because when Gardevoir doesn't Mega Evolve, it can still be usable in a Trick Room, and even in Trick Room, it can still be slower even if it Mega Evolves. That's why I went with a Modest Nature instead of a plus Speed Nature, because Modest is plus Special Attack, while I forget what the other nature is. That could be for Trick Room, but its EVs are also Trick Room, or non-Trick Room. So basically it's a sweeper, but can still work in Trick Room because we're up against legendaries, is basically what I'm trying to say. And then finally, I'm just noting here how there are consecutive battles, so hopefully your lead Pokemon is what you truly want to send out, or it will be useful in both of the battles as the lead. For me, that will be Metagross. I'm having a fast Steel type, aka Bullet Punch. In my case, for Metagross would be very good. I'm sure you can maybe figure out why. And if you remember all the other battles where I start off with a Bullet Punch lead, like Metagross or Lucario. So yeah, a lot of explaining behind my team, but otherwise now we just want to head over to the right side of the nightclub. Okay, so yeah, it's not very obvious what this Miracle is referring to, a Poplio and Beach, but if you put it together, you figure out you need to go to a Popfile Academy. So fly on over there after exiting the nightclub. and then head on up along the coastline to Apophilo Cave. So once you reach the cave, we just need to head up to the second floor. So progress through. It's a very linear area. There's only 2 floors to this place, so not much confusion to be had. So once you find the ladder, head up, go to the left and up, and you'll find the New World door. Alright, in this new area, there's no new Pokemon per se, but there are some Pokemon we haven't been able to encounter in the wild before, which are Chandelier and Volcarona. So if you failed their quest or want to find more of them, or whatever, you can find them here. Alright, so now let's just go ahead and explore this area and get this quest really going. So here this choice doesn't matter, so pick yes or no. Alright, so as that little tip suggests, we will be switching between Taka and the main character here. Based on your story decisions, you will either have Taka or Zero as your partner. In my case, that is Taka. This won't really have any implications until the battles later, but even then, I don't think you should really factor your partner in for battles. Anyway, starting with Taka, in my case, we will be heading down, and we'll find an orb, so use it. And also, with Taka, you don't have to worry about running into wild Pokemon because the grass you walk over does not have an encounter table, so you can change your Pokemon even as Taka. It doesn't matter until the battles later on. Alright, so with that orb activated, we now switch back to ourselves, and then we want to head up. After heading up, you'll hopefully find this crystal here, so go ahead and activate that. Now we swap. And as Taka, we will head up. And up here, we'll talk with the Obama Snow and get it to make snow come down. Alright. Now we swap back to ourselves. Get down the snow. And talk to the Artaria here. Oh, but don't talk to the Altaria, excuse me. Go down counterclockwise. Yes. Once you reach this orb you can't do anything with. Now you swap and talk to Altaria. Even if you talked to Altaria beforehand, it would have been fine. Let's swap back and activate the orb as Taka. Alright, now we switch back to ourself and across the ice puzzle. And here we'll find an orb, so we want to activate that. And then we cross back onto the ice puzzle and talk to Abomasnow. And then we need to head back to the right again, so traverse through the ice puzzle again. Head down the snow. And then sorry, we need to find a puzzle, or excuse me, a crystal. So there's a crystal. And then swap back to Taka. And now we can actually follow along the path as well, up and to the right, clockwise. So it's quite a ways away, but keep on walking forward, past the bridge again, and around that area, down the stairs, we will come across a crystal, so use it. Alright, then swap back to ourselves and climb down these stairs. Talk to Altaria down here. And then head back up that orb we skipped over so we can use it. And then we have one last thing to do, which is go down into this ice puzzle here and talk to the Abomasnow on the snow, or ice, I guess. Alright, from here we swap back to Taka. Go down. And then there should be a crystal, so use it. So from here we continue as Taka. We can just go down a little bit. Yeah, so there's an obstacle, so we have to swap back to ourselves. And now using that little broken patch or whatever, we can now progress and out of the ice puzzle into this new area here. There'll be a frozen orb, so we swap back to Taka. Talk to the Altaria that's a little bit above us. Alright. Here you can pet Altaria, it doesn't do anything, but it's a nice little fun thing to do. Alright, next thing to do we need, or next thing we need to do, excuse me, is switch back to ourselves and use the orb. Alright, so now we swap back to Taka again, and go to the left. And from here there's a crystal, so use that. And then swap back to ourselves. Head up to the ice maze again, so we can talk to Abomasnow. Alright. Head out of the ice puzzle again at the bottom and continue. And here we reach another obstacle, so we have to swap back. Alright, so now as Taka, we go down the snow, there'll be a frozen orb. So obviously you have to swap back to yourself here and talk to Artaria. Alright. And with that we now need to swap back to Taka again, activate that crystal, or excuse me, orb. And then continue up, past this ice puzzle, excuse me. And there will be a little glowing crystal, so use that. And then we actually can continue even further up. Yes, there's another orb, so use that. And finally, we actually need to head back and touch that Abomasnow we passed in the ice puzzle. Now we swap back to ourselves and continue heading left as well. Go down the snow and talk to Altaria. Alright, from here we head up. Keep going along and you'll eventually see this orb, so go ahead and use it. Now we swap back to Taka again, talk to Abomasnow, and then continue out of the ice puzzle. Yep, we'll make our way over there, Taka, don't worry about it. Alright, skip past the Abomasnow to this frozen orb. So now we gotta swap back to ourselves. Yeah, we can progress, and so it's obvious that we need to find out Altaria, so just head on back. It's quite a ways away, but we'll get there. Down the stairs, and there's the Altaria. Alright, swapping back to Taka, we use the orb. Use it. Alright. Oh, and then continue down and you find these 9 gemstones. And obviously, well not obviously, but we need to swap back to our MC because we also have our main self, excuse me, and so, because we're not almost out. We're not out of the puzzle yet. We need to talk to Abomasnow. And then as we circle along, we walk quite a bit, but we will get there. And we'll reach a similar area to Taka. So now we have a new puzzle here. So yeah, for the gemstones, as the main character, or ourself here, we will need to make them all black. And in the case of Taka, they will need to be all white. So perhaps from those colors, black and white, you can figure out what Pokemon will be facing for this quest. So it's pretty similar to some puzzles you may have encountered before, where if you touch one of the crystals, the surrounding crystals will also change their color as well. So yeah, we just need to, figure the puzzle out until you can get it with some trial and error. Of course, there are also resources online that will help you with this. Otherwise, you can just randomly press them and maybe you'll get lucky. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm pretty sure I do get it eventually. Alright. Yeah. If you're really struggling with this, I highly recommend getting a guide. and figuring it out. I think it's like match 3x3 opposing colors or something along those lines, and you'll be able to find other similar puzzles. So, yeah. Yeah, so I'll just be skipping forward to when I finally get this, because this is taking me a bit. Oh, I got it. Okay, cool. Alright, with that, we are now reunited with Taka. Make sure your team is all set up. Once again, save so you don't have to redo all that. Then head on up. Yeah, save in front of the door. There will be consecutive battles right after you enter, so head on in after you saved. Okay, so we are up against Zekrom and Reshiram on an icy field in doubles with Taka. So based on your story decisions, you will have a different partner. With Taka either having one eye or two eyes, and of course Zero will be a different partner as well. As you can see, I start off with Metagross because we want to bullet punch the Ninetales. Yeah, I can't take it out, so I get hit with Blizzard. Overveil goes up, unfortunately. Fernape uses Flare Blitz, but doesn't quite take out the Glaceon here. From here, I just decide to go for Rock Slide because I'm stupid. Doesn't work out. Inferno goes down. Hails kind of hurts as well. Lycan Rock comes out next. From here, I decide to just go for Bullet Punch. On the Glaceon to really take it out, which I've taken out by Lycan Rock in return with Drill Run though. Klefki uses Dazzling Gleam, which isn't too bad of a move here. I would prefer a Steel type move if it had it though. Alright, next I decide to send out Carbink for Trick Room. With Sturdy, I should be able to get it off, so I do. I don't even have to worry about using Sturdy. This comes out Chandelier, which gives me a chance to use Explosion without actually hurting my teammate here, so that's nice. Alright. Lycan Rock goes down. Chandelier also goes down, but that's okay. Next we send Stack Attacka. And the main reason I do so is because of Choice Band Rock Slide in a doubles battle with Trick Room up. Rock Slide. Not as much damage I was hoping. Rock Slide actually gains Ice type on this field, so it actually is doubly good against the Zekrom here. Doesn't quite take it out though, very bulky. Next sends out Reshiram as well. Take out that. Zekrom, get a boost. Take out Reshiram. I don't get the boost. It's a little bit different than Soul Heart. Beast Boost, you need to get the knockouts yourself. Soul Heart is any knocked out Pokemon, but that's okay. Next come out Golem and Bayonet. Bayonet Mega Evolves. I take a Sucker Punch, so not much damage. Golem dodges, but I get the knockout on Bayonet, which is great. I take a Wild Charge. The crit kind of sucks, but it's okay. Attack, let's hang it in there. Next is Guzzlord. Due to the Ice type on Rock Slide, I actually do super effective damage, and the attack boost from earlier gives me more than enough damage to take out Golem and Rock Slide. So it's going really great here. Stack Attack is going on the sweep. Out comes Kangaskhan and Weavile. Unfortunately, Kangaskhan has Fake Out, so it will stop me from attacking, which kind of sucks, especially when we're running out Trick Room stacks, or turns, I guess. But luckily, Dazzling can take out Weavile. And from here, it becomes singles. 2v1, or 1v2. Well, whatever it is. It's odds are in our favor. So Trick Room unfortunately runs out. So we have a Mimikyu. I tried to use Gyro Ball, but I can't due to Choice Band, so that's fine. It goes for Sword Stance, but Aegislash goes for Sunsteel Strike, and it one-shots the Mimikyu. Because I guess Sunsteel Strike ignores abilities. I didn't know that. And then we are sent back here, and we are immediately thrown into another battle. This time we're up against whatever that long-ass name is. On the new world field with Taka again. Luckily, all of your team will get healed for this, so that's great. Metagross is not the best lead here, but we gotta work with what we got. So I decided to go for Meteor Mash on Mew. The main edge goes for a Volt Switch, which kind of sucks, and now Zekrom can come out. Luckily, it has one of those seeds, so it has to take it one turn to charge up with all those stats, but that's okay. We hit Mew, doesn't take it out. Flare Blitz, Grenade will go down here for sure. Tailwind is annoying, but that's why we have Trick Room here. Yeah, so Grenade goes on the Vacuum Wave. And the Fusion Bolt is a ridiculous move, and almost takes out my Metagross. Not quite, we almost take out Mew. Klefki comes out. We go for Bullet Punch to just really get rid of the Mew. Or at least I thought so, but Tailwind lets it outspeed us in terms of that prior battle. So here I decided to send out Carbink. And yeah, one thing I want to note, and now I forgot about it, is that my Carbink here, I swapped its defense, its offensive stats for defensive stats in between this battle. And then I used Trick Room. And I use Power Gem on the Victini. It doesn't quite take it out, but Dazzling Gleam. Unfortunately, it doesn't take out both either. My Carbon goes down, but that's okay. And then I switch in swap in Stack Attack, excuse me, for some Rock Slide shenanigans again. Double Victini is fantastic for me. I can really stack up Rock Slide boost from here. Misses on that one, but the Aegislash is slow too, so it gets to go here under Trick Room. Up next is Magearna and Kyurem. Here I don't really have much of a choice, so I just go for Rock Slide. Have to hope for a flinch. Good damage. So Magearna goes for a Thunder Wave actually, which is great because it gives my Aegislash an opportunity, and then Kyurem gets flinched here, which is great because I think I would have get taken out. So we go for Rock Slide again. And I get another attack boost, and then Aegislash will get to move here and take out this Kyurem as well. So it is going great. Shaman comes out next, and then normal Reshiram. Or not normal Reshiram, but just Reshiram. Rock Slide, super effective on Shaman, and the attack boost, let me just take out Reshiram. So from here, my victory is pretty much assured. Trick Room, Rock Slide, Stab on the Choice Band Stack Attack. Just great. So, take out my Netric. Take out a Koopa. Here comes out Salamence. The Intimidate does suck, but now it's 1v2 or 2v1, so even when the Mega Evolves, we can just hit it with Rock Slide. And that is it for this battle. Pretty good stuff. So now we can we got a free heal, and then we have 3 legendaries to catch. So you can do them in any order, it doesn't really matter, but I would be doing Kyurem last, so either Reshiram or Zekrom is here on the left, so head on through. Yeah, probably Zero, and the other version of Taka will heal your team, hopefully, so. I just want to change out my Super Rod for Item Finder, because I like spamming it, even though there's no items to be found here, but yeah. Whew. Okay, there's Reshiram, the sprite looks great, but I gotta say, thinking about that last battle just now, that one took me forever, because I had to completely change up my team, which is what you see here now. Before, my team wasn't comprised of Trick Room, and it was really difficult. I don't think I could have done it unless I got really super lucky with critical hits and RNG overall. I'm gonna switch in Blaziken here, and then give it Blaziken Knight so I can Mega Evolve and get more resistances, and also stall a little bit of time with Protect. And then just save, and head on up, or save in front. I'm not sure if the sprite is from the black and white games, but it looks great. Alright, and then hope we get a shiny here. And we do not. Okay, managed to get a shiny. This is my first one I've encountered so far, actually. It's a very interesting sprite, I gotta say. Alright, so Mega Evolve. I go for Rock Slide because I've tested it on the previous Reshirams I came across, and it does not knock it out. So here, I'd go for the Pokeball. I have 81, that should be more than enough ideally. I buy 100 at a time. Technically I can buy like 1,000 at a time, but you know, always good to save money. Never know when I'm going to need it. So just keep checking Pokeballs. Okay, whatever, I guess. Luckily, unlike the other, you know, legendary catching we had to do, we have a full team, so we don't have to reset as frequently. So, unfortunately, most of my Pokemon cannot resist Fire type. So, next best choice is Carpink. Okay, crunch, not much damage. Defense drop kind of sucks. Fire Blast, okay. This is taking a bit. Just gotta keep checking balls. Oh, Carpink is down. Okay, swap in Crabominable. Nah, I go for Gardevoir. And just keep chucking balls. Ooh, wow, that really hurt. Oh, okay, nice. Alright. That is a crazy Pokédex description, honestly. Changing the weather. Alright, we still have 2 more to go, so let's quickly head out of here. Save, of course, so I don't have to redo all of that nonsense. Alright, and once we're back in this main little hub area, we can talk to Taka for a heal. Alright, and now we gotta switch up our team a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't have a ground type Pokemon here, which would be best against Zekrom. Zekrom is most assuredly on the right door. So, I'll just, I guess, go with Metagross. So head on in. Excuse me. Go up, save in front of Zekrom. Great looking sprite. And do I get a shiny? I do not, so I'll be right back. Oh! Alright, I have a shiny here. Much more of a subtle sprite compared to the actual, or compared to his counterpart Reshiram. Alright, let's go with Meteor Mash. Crunch unfortunately does quite a bit of damage. Bullet Punch just for a little more ship. I think I can just take that Thunder. Oh, the paralysis sucks, but it's okay. Okay, I would have liked to get it into the red, but that's okay. Let's swap out, or not swap in. I guess swap in, yes. This is Blaziken, go for Protect. Just Mega Evolve for more defenses, to take more hits, and then start chucking Pokeballs. Technically, I could use like a Gallade for these, like a Gallade I trained up to exclusively catch legendaries, but it's a little hard for me to get BP for cell batteries right now. So, I want to save my cell battery usage, or uses for later, for any remote PC necessities. Anyway, just keep chucking Pokeballs. Still in a stack attack, I can resist most moves, or at the very least take a few hits here and there. Pokeballs. Crunch definitely sucks, especially that defense drop. Ouch. Okay. This Zekrom really hurts. Even though it's a physical attacker. Thunder's doing a lot of work here. Alright, goodbye, that crab vulnerable. Oh, that looked like it would go in. Alright, just keep chucking. Oh, nice. You love to see it, you love to see it. A much more tame description here. Very much more literal. Alright, with that save. Head back through to the main center area. And talk to Talk for a heal. Alright, from here, we're going to put Blaziken back at the front because it can resist Kyurem, who has ice move, so head on through. Save as always, just in case. Okay, save again. And let's see if I get a shiny. No, it has not, so we will try again. Okay. We have a shiny here. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this shiny is quite mediocre compared to the other ones. I go for Rock Slide, shouldn't take it out. Rock Slide missing sucks, but that's what you get for using Rock Slide, I guess. Okay, throw a couple Pokeballs here and there. Ooh, it hurts. Okay. Dragon Pulse, unfortunate. Yeah, Gardevoir is a good choice into that. Technically, actually, Carpink would have been better because of the Hyper Voice. Yeah, actually, that. Alright, just keep checking balls. Can't really get any lower without possibly knocking it out. Okay. Dragon Pulse, you love to see it. Oh, alright, time to send in Carpink. Pokeball. Dragon Pulse. Blizzard, okay, that kind of hurts. Don't appreciate that. Oh! Wow, that was pretty fast. Alright, let's go. Huh. The inside of its body can survive its own ice, but the outside cannot. Bit interesting. Alright, with that, just want to go ahead and continue on. Make sure to save. So, I'd be a bad walkthrough explainer if I told you to just head out right now. I highly recommend prepping your team before you leave. It's pretty annoying, but you can't just leave normally too. I'm pretty sure I have revival herbs, so I'll use those. If I have a revive, I'll use that too, though. Oh, I do have one revive. Alright, so revive my Blaziken and then just fully heal my Gardevoir. And then use the max potions I still have for, what is it? My Carbink, I think? Yeah, Carbink and Blaziken. There we go. Alright. And then set up your team. So here I chose to put Carbink. Yeah, Carbink is good here, I guess. For Trick Room, obviously, but, spoiler alert, this is post-recording. I choose to swap it out and put Gardevoir at the front. And then, since we are on the new world field and I have all this time to change, for real this time, I will, change the hold item from Amplified Rock to a Silk Scarf for more explosion damage. Honestly, it's not that incredible of a choice. Explosion is less of a damage dealing move for me and more of a, gain tempo type of thing here. Which is pretty mediocre damage too, especially now that I have my Carbink set to max defense instead of max offense as I did before. Oh, and the reason why I did change the EVs from max offense to max defense is that Reshiram and Zekrom have abilities that bypass Sturdy, so that's why I went with that. So with those defenses, I was just able to barely use Trick Room, so that's why I did that. I don't know if I'll switch it back anytime soon or not. Technically, Explosion does let me get knocked out if I need to, so. Alright. With that Silk Scarf. Still thinking about how I would have rearranged my team. Change up held items. Yep, I do. I need to take off the Blaziken Knight with the white lens and then a Crabominable. Switch bands on attack, that's good. But this time Stone Edge will be better, so I'm sure you can figure out why. And then I'll change out the Rockium Z for Icium Z since Rockium Z won't be as useful as Icium Z here. Yeah, that's about it. Save, and then head on down. Okay. So yeah, I decided to send out Gardevoir. I did change it up as opposed to Carbink, so Mega Evolve here. Miss Ball. Lower special attack, which really It really sucks. Anyway, Moonblast still one-shots the Latios. Comes out Mesprit, which gets all these boosts. I go for Shadow Ball. That did surprisingly way less damage than I thought it would. But we gotta go for Shadow Ball again. Fire Punch is an interesting move for sure. Get a crit, which is really lucky. Now comes out Koopa. 4 times weak to Ghost, but the boost it gets does kind of make it really beefy on top of the special attack drop I got, which really sucks. Drop in special defense, which is nice. But I definitely get outsped here on the next turn. Okay. Here we go for Carbink to set out Trick Room. 30 is fantastic for us. Here I explode even though it's Ghost type, the Hoopa. I just need tempo to switch in stack attack it here. Go for Stone Edge. Doesn't quite take it out. Miss a Focus Blast. Try to go for Gyro Ball so I don't miss it here. I do miss, but luckily it misses too. Yeah, not gonna lie, I pretty much won this one through luck if I'm completely honest. Anyway, stack attack is stacking now with Stone Edge. Keep missing, but it's okay. Take a foul play here. And Stone Edge, get a critical hit, which is very lucky, but Stone Edge does technically crit more. Trick Room Stone Edge, plus attack boost stab, and just going through like crazy. Trick Room does wear off. Ace has something to say, but whatever. Take a flamethrower to the face, but it's fine. I have 3 extra Pokemon here, which should be enough to take out this last remaining Pokemon that Ace has. So I send in Blaziken to go for a Protect, just so I can get a speed boost. I forgot about that, but luckily my Blaziken can tank it, and we go for a high jump kick, and that's enough damage because Zoroark is not a boosted, disgusting Pokemon. So yeah, with that, that's our battle against Ace. So here we want to set the fast travel request. And also I want to note that if you are partnered with Taka for this quest, you will get a relationship point with Ace. This is only accessible to Reshiram route, and that is because you defeated Ace while partnered with Taka. So anyway, here back at the nightclub, there are some dialogue options or things to go through, so make sure to get out the little Fennekin you got in the water treatment center, or the Braixen, or the Delphox, whatever stage it's at. Basically, the important thing is, in its profile here, you have water treatment center. That's the Delphox or Fennekin you want. So, take it with us. So yeah, I'll be talking to Ace last actually, so let's just talk with Taka here. Okay, so you can talk to Luna, Seal, and Terra for new dialogue. Beyond just Taka and of course Ace. Alright, finishing up, let's talk to Ace here. Alright, if you talk to Ace one last time here, you get a choice between yes or no for picking a card. It doesn't matter what you pick no or yes. Ace will just give you a red card. And that's it for Ace, and yeah, that's pretty much it for all new dialogue and things to cover in this quest, anything related to this quest. So yeah, this episode took me so goddamn long. I don't know what's the total amount of time, but it's several hours now for me. This video, as of what I'm looking at now through editing and whatnot, will probably be less than an hour. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll just see you all later.